Good afternoon from Big Sky Country. I'm Stacy, owner of Montana Used Bricks, and today I have another this and that video. You guys have been leaving some really good comments, and there's been a couple of things I've wanted to reply to, so I thought this would be the quick and easiest way to do it. So I'm just gonna get right into it today. Why do you buy sets private? Show them on your channel and say it's helping you to market the shop, and who knows, probably at some point you decide to sell it in your shop with some profit. I don't think someone could argue that these sets are for private use only if you say otherwise. And this one came about because I think I was talking about the fact that I don't pay myself, but I do buy a lot of personal sets. And when I buy personal sets on my taxes, I mark them as personal. They're not for the business. This person has a really good point, because if I did buy a set and I put it together and showed it on YouTube and promoted it through this channel, which is tied to my store, it could be considered a business expense. I've never done that. I'm very slow, as many of you know who have been watching my videos for any length of time. I'm very slow at getting sets done. This one took me probably about a year to collect the parts and get it together. So I'm slow when it comes to putting sets together because I spend more time on the store than I do on sets. If I had decided that I did want to put a set together and review it for the channel, it would be considered a business expense. If there are any of you out there that are doing a YouTube channel along with your Bricklink store, you could probably do this. It's not something that I even considered because, like I said, I am so slow putting sets together. It would be embarrassing how long it would take me to do a video, especially on the sets I do, because they're all usually over 1,000 parts. So it would take me forever. But I do like this idea. It is something I've kind of been thinking about since I read this comment, and I will let you know what I decide. If you want to see me review some of the older sets, because I have quite a few of the older sets, or I have sets that were new when I bought them, but now they're older sets, and you'd like to see me put them together and review them on the channel, let me know in the comments, and maybe that's something I will start doing in the future. And along that same lines, I had someone ask, did you finish the green grocer? No, I am still collecting parts for that. Any of you that are also in the process of collecting parts for the green grocer to build that, know that some of those sand green parts, not only are they rare, but because they're rare, they're very pricey. And I figured out at one point how much I would have to spend to get all the parts for that green grocer, and that's not including buying the instructions, because the instructions alone are like $200–300. I would have to spend a lot of money, and I'm not ready to do that. I'm just collecting parts here and there. It's my dream set. Maybe at some point I will decide that this is worth it, and I will plunk down the money to buy all the parts needed to do it. But no, the green grocer isn't done. It's not even, I don't even have all the parts for it yet. It's going to be a long time. Right now I'm trying to focus on the cafe corner. Even though that has a lot of parts I don't yet have, those parts are a little bit easier to come by than the parts that are needed for this green grocer. And I have thought about it because I know people have built the green grocer using other colored bricks, and then they kind of fill in the sand green as they get them. And that is something that I've considered as well. If somebody has done something like that, can you put that in the comments and let me know how that worked, and if you were happy with the end result using a different color brick. It's really not the green grocer without the sand green, but you know, it can still be a grocery store. I need it for my town collection over on my other wall there. So the next question was, do I need a business to sell on Bricklink? I will be selling rarely some sets. So I'm thinking they're asking, do they need to open a store? And yeah, to sell on Bricklink, you have to open a store. And I think I've said this before, when I opened my store in October of 2015, you didn't have to do anything. You just basically went in and clicked a button that said open store and you were open for business. Now they have you doing a bunch of paperwork. You have to send things in. You have to prove that you have a viable business. So it can be a little bit of a hassle to get started. I don't know how it is now, but I know when they first started that process, it was taking anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months for people to get through that process. So if you're just selling rarely, I would look at other online forums that you might be able to advertise in, maybe do some online classifieds. I sell quite a bit through our local Facebook marketplace, so I could sell locally. We've started selling on eBay, which to get started is fairly easy, but as people have said, the fees on eBay, I was a little bit shocked when I saw how much the fees were coming out to on eBay. But those are just different options that you can use besides Bricklink, because there are people out there that scour the classifieds looking for Lego sets, especially if you're selling older or rare Lego sets. Hi Stacy, I'm just learning about Lego right now, watching tons of videos. Couple of questions. I understand what parting out means, but what is considered a lot? For example, you said you had 206 parts in 100 lots for $40. What does that mean? Trying to learn the Lego language. Second question, what's an average good price for used lot per pound on eBay? I think I've done this lot question before, and I'm not sure if I describe it very well. I've had friends who have asked me about that because I'll say, hey, I was able to upload 200 parts in 50 lots before work this morning. And they're like, okay, we know what parts are. What's a lot? And so I've tried to explain it to them, but the best thing I can do is maybe a little bit of a visual, and I might have done this in a previous video. I seem to remember doing this, but I don't remember which one. But basically, lots are a part and a color. So in this case, I'm holding in my hand 3 lots. So this one has 7 parts in one lot, and they're the tan 2x2 brick. This one has 6 parts in a lot, and this one has 10 parts in a lot. So every time you do this, this is a lot. When you are selling used bricks, you might end up with maybe 2 or 3 different lots for the same part and color, because you might have excellent condition, okay condition, damaged condition. So you might end up with different lots. So you can't really go by just the color and the parts, but that's the easiest way I can explain that. If somebody can explain it better, put it in the comments. I'm having you guys do a lot of work this time because some of the stuff I'm having issues trying to explain. The eBay question, I have answered this 100 different ways. I don't want to give out how much I pay because I don't want to be bidding against you guys on eBay. But I will say that I have paid anywhere from like $2, $2.50 up to over $8. And the reason there's such a wide range in there is because a lot of that is based on the parts, the seller. Maybe there's a specific part in there that I want. Maybe there's lots of minifigs. Maybe there's lots of older parts. Maybe there's rare parts. So it can really vary, and it really depends on what you're looking at, on how much you're going to bid. I have bid low on sellers that they just sell stuff that they've had around their house. So they've taken all the little Lego bits and probably broken toys and Mega Block, and they've put them all into a box and they're selling them on eBay. Those, I'm only going to bid like $2.50 unless I can tell there's some really good minifigs or rare parts in there. And then there have been sets where there's been minifigs and rare parts and things I really want, and I will bid over $7 a pound for those because those are ones I really want. When it comes to minifigs, those are totally on their own. They're a whole different world. When I first started buying on eBay, I could get a half pound of minifigs for like 25 bucks. Now a half pound of minifigs goes for $100, $200. So you're going to pay a lot more if you're just buying minifigs versus plates and bricks. It really depends on what you're looking for, what's in that lot, how much you're willing to pay, how much you're willing to pay on shipping, And you have to decide what you're comfortable with, what you can afford, and kind of create in your mind. I have a spreadsheet I use, but you can create something that says, okay, if it's this type, I'm going to pay no more than this. For these, I'm going to pay no more than this. And for these, I'm going to pay no more than this. And that kind of gives you an idea of what you're willing to pay, and maybe you get into a little bit of a, I really want that part, and you can go in and bid a little bit more. It's really up to you. I'm one of those people that puts in a max bid and I walk away, because I know that I'm one of those people, if I sit there and watch it and refresh the last 5 minutes, I'm going to start bidding more, and I'm going to spend a lot more than I want. So I use the max bid and walk away, and I don't look at it again until it's over, or I get an email that says you won, because I will drive myself crazy and I will pay a lot more than what I should for those. So it's really up to you, is how I put it. And I don't like to give out my specifics because I don't want to be bidding against you guys. But then again, I haven't bought on eBay since last March. So I don't know what I'm so worried about. So this last one is, hi Montana, I'm interested in the storage containers made by Papamax. What is their website? I'm guessing that they mean my Papamax, which are the black ones up here, that I bought when the company was just starting out here in the US. They're from the UK. And I was in the process of trying to buy more when COVID hit. And I actually sent them an email, and they said because of COVID, they couldn't get their shipment from China, which meant they couldn't get from the UK to the US, which was fine. But I think COVID really hurt them, and they weren't able to get their shipment from China, so they weren't able to distribute. This is just theory on my part, because now I can't find anything. I can't find the websites. I can't find any information on them, and I'm not even sure if they're in business anymore. If they are, if there's somebody in the UK that knows whether or not Papamax is still in business, please let me know, because I am still very interested in getting some more of those. But I did read on Reddit, there was somebody who ordered they're basically these, the same exact thing. They got them direct from China and ended up paying a little bit more because of shipping. The unit cost was cheaper, but the shipping was more. I'm not willing to do that because I'm very impatient. If I had to wait a month or 2 or 3 to get these, it's like, forget it. I'm not interested. Plus, I don't really want to pay a whole lot in shipping. I did find on Amazon, I found some little boxes, which you can kind of see, they're the cream colored ones that are next to the Papamax. And they're just little boxes. They're not very big. They're about this size. Try to hold it with my hand so you can see what they are. And they're fairly good boxes. You can connect them like you can see here, and these aren't attached, but they do clip together fairly well. They work even better once you get parts in them and there's a little bit of weight. And I really like them, one, because they fit perfectly where I wanted them to fit, next to the Papamax. And they're working so well that my husband asked me to order some more because he's finally putting our new parts into inventory and we need some new boxes. So he's going to be using these as he continues to add to our inventory. So that's all I have for today. If you do have any questions, comments, things you want me to talk about, please put them in the comments so I have ideas going forward, because I'm doing a lot of these this and that videos just because, like I said, I've run out of ideas. I've had a couple people ask me to talk about the Google image search. I'm not quite sure what it's called now, but it's like Google Photo, where you take a picture of it and Google tells you all the things it could be. And I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of that, because I've actually used that a couple of times and found it very helpful. I've also used it a couple of times and thought, oh my God, I just wasted 15 minutes of my life. But it is a good thing. And I had a lot of people mention that when I was talking about identifying parts, and several people asked me to do a video. The problem is I need to steal my husband's phone to do it so I can use my phone to film, and we just haven't been able to coordinate quite yet to be able to do that, but that is on my radar. I had somebody also ask me about how my first year in business went, and I'm trying to think of a way to do a video on that as well, to kind of talk about the pros and cons and the things that I learned within that first year, which I think would be a good video as well. So if you have any other ideas, please let me know and I will be happy to talk about them. So we are just 1 week away from Christmas. I do have the next week off. So the week before Christmas I will have off. I am hoping to get out here and do some inventory and do some more things for eBay, because we've actually had some eBay sales, which is kind of getting us in the mood to do that. And I'm also hoping to do a couple of little videos throughout the week so that I will have them. I usually put videos out on Sunday, but with Christmas and New Year's, I want to kind of get those done beforehand. Plus, I know that last week of December is going to be really hectic for work, so I want to get those done as well. So that's my plan for this week. So I hope everybody is gearing up for the holidays, having a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.